We are live. This
Farmers.
is live TV, guys. All right. Welcome everybody to the Apostate Coalition. I am your host in training. It's me. It's me. Thank you to the wonderful Ryan, who's been hosting this show forever, and it was time to assist in some of the other technical duties. So I'm learning what the hell I'm doing. So this is fun. If anything goes wrong, it's my fault. So yay. Welcome, everybody. Sorry about the hiatus, but we're back. We're here. We're not going anywhere. Thank you for my fellow co-hosts on the show. My other worldly perspective individuals here to give you all of their worldly perspectives.
Yes.
Thank you, Ryan, Tyler. We're back to Dobstopper, are we?
I recently changed it, but I'm thinking about going back. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think's better.
All right. Well, is this a different personality? Should we expect different kind of comments today?
Great question.
I'm not going to lean into being submissive as much until you tell me I should, because that's just how submissive I am.
Domstopper.
The Domstopper.
I love it.
All right, that'll be the next name coming up after the show.
Epic.
How you doing, Tyler?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good. Living in, hanging in there, doing what I got to do. Praise to be Jehovah.
Praise Jehovah.
Real. The fact that you said it that way, everyone who's Jehovah's Witness is like, he didn't say the password right. He ain't one of us.
I'm the new Jehovah. I'm gonna start my own Jehovah's Witness gang. The new,
you might as well. So
the
many
new
go
light?
for it.
No. The new light.
The newest light.
Mm-hmm. And now we done dropped it down from 144,000. It's just gonna be 28.
Ooh, 28. Dang, that's exclusive.
That's it.
Exclusive. Now I got one of the seats, so just 27 left. If y'all do right, I'll hit them up, let y'all get in.
Fingers crossed.
Apology to her. It's all Dr. Timewaster's fault. She started it. That one time she left and went somewhere. We ain't been back since
one
then.
thing after another, and then another. I think there was Halloween involved. I don't remember. How long has it been, you guys?
I don't know. And then I fell asleep last week.
And
then I almost this week, but I set my alarm. My alarm woke me up, so sorry. It's 10 for me. So for me, it's like late because I get up at 6, which isn't really that early, but
yeah, you're in the late. You're just an hour ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Well, it's been dark here in Arkansas for about 5 years already today.
Yeah.
Or 5 hours, anyways. It's getting dark earlier and earlier.
Yeah, the darkness is not helping. That's kind of throwing me off, I think. The time change. Whew. Crazy.
Yes, let's blame the time change, daylight savings on Jehovah. All right, I'm having fun with the comments, you guys. I'm learning, pushing buttons.
Oh yeah, there will be buttons pushed. There will be exploration tonight, thoroughly going through and just hovering over your names with such careful exploration.
7,890 partakers.
28 people. Shut the fuck up. That's too funny.
So you're gonna take 28 people, so you're gonna do 4 people from each continent, huh? Is that how you're dividing it up?
Mm-hmm.
Antarctica's really getting an oversized sample.
That would be a statistical skewing of the data.
Yeah, but they're all scientists, so they deserve it.
They do. So it's been a hot minute, man.
Yeah, I'd say a few things of interest have occurred over the last.
You think
we've been here? So
what are you talking about?
I was talking about your personal lives, but hey,
Well,
You went so
that,
Shrek.
maybe that too for people.
I didn't say anything specific. I said something significant has happened.
Then you went to the woods and stuff.
Well, we did lots of stuff. It's been a couple weeks, we've all had interesting things happening in our lives.
Yeah.
So interesting. We're very interesting people.
How was the Shrek show?
What's that? Oh, Shrek. Oh, yeah. I went to my first, theatrical performance in probably 15 years, and it was Shrek the musical, and it was awesome. And no, I don't have to bring any with me.
What kind of song did they sing? Songs that were from the movie, or and totally new songs? Is that?
Oh no, it's totally new songs.
Did the set change?
What's that?
Did the set change?
I mean, there's set changes, and but it's a theater, so it's a stage.
No, I went to the Color Purple, and they didn't change the set. It was the worst thing. I was so disappointed in that. They just brought out some chairs and stuff and danced, and I was like,
birds did explode. I can confirm, birds did explode. Yes, many things happened. It was good. They did a good job. It was kid friendly. There were puppets at some point, intermittently. But anyway, it was good. It was enjoyable. They did a good job. Singing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm salty.
Speaking of swamps, no, I'm just kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding. I did have somewhat of a topic that we could talk about if we didn't have anything better to talk about. Because I do think it's been a lot of, I don't know about you guys, but there's just a lot of people. I've noticed a lot of people that are having a lot of feelings, right? It's like a lot of stress and feeling emotions, and I think everybody is. It's just everybody is experiencing different emotions sometimes,
right?
Some more than others, right? But the internet is full of everybody airing out their grievances of all sorts, and I kind of thought maybe we could do something like that, but maybe with more structure, instead of just just pouring your
kind of going tangential.
Very
what kind of structure you have in mind?
Oh, the Dom is asking what kind of structure you would have, ma'am.
No, not sorry. I've spoke.
Don't
call me a Dom.
Dom, stopper. Name change, please.
I'll stop Dom, so I'm not going to be a Dom.
Oh, he wants some respect now.
Put some respect on his name.
Well, I think that it would be good to just kind of talk about structurally wise, specifically some things that maybe we think are working well, but I'd say there's a lot of things we can all agree aren't working well in society. And maybe if we talked about what we thought maybe isn't going well, but also what we would do differently or what we would think suggest specifically would actually make it better. And so what I did was I wrote down a question, which is, what would make America great?
What
would make America great?
That.
What is that?
That's my lip gloss.
Her lip gloss is popping.
So I was thinking
I think of that song all the time. Every freaking time I put my lip gloss on.
Lip gloss popping.
What you know about this? What you? So what would make America great? Everybody submit to my will.
Well,
it'll be great for me. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but
Trump 2024.
One thing I would like I would be such a tyrant when it comes to transportation. I take driving offenses, like those top offenses. You know, you get over no signal. Oh man, you got at least do 15 years at least. Can't let you out here just with us. Mm-mm. You're going down, buddy.
Oh, brother.
Man, people. I hate the way they drive, man. It's a big old bullet flying down the road. It's the biggest gun we have in the world. We're all the ammo. We just flying around like pinballs. People just do what they want. You know.
I really wish that because I had driver training in school. I really think that was helpful for me. I think that it should be one of those wonderful things if they could educate kids in school the proper way to drive, so that way we have.
Well, people don't care. They don't care. They don't understand how you properly should ride in a car. And I have the solution.
Yeah, they don't think of the repercussions. They don't care about they're apathetic.
When I ride in the passenger seat of the car, I am not just the occupant of the car riding. I serve a duty. I'm like the co-pilot. I have to have eyes on the road as much as the driver do. But some people want to get in there, fall asleep, put their legs up, not participate.
I prefer you fall asleep while I'm driving. I drive careful. I don't want to hear your input.
You don't know. You don't drive careful until I don't say nothing while I'm awake. See, I would become a tyrant around the road. I'll be pretty liberal with everything else. Do whatever you want.
But and how do you drive on your own? Yeah,
amazingly.
And then how do people react whenever they're in your passenger seat? Do they ever tell you what to do?
Nobody's scared to ride with me. I abide by the law.
They never ever speak up about what you should be doing while you're driving.
Because I am the driver here. I've changed. Anybody that's ever rode in a car with me, when I get in the car with them, after a while, their driving habits change because of how I react to them driving.
Right.
So like when Karen, she used to be a bumper rider. I mean, just real close. Not no more. I practice. I don't. Y'all can do whatever you want, but I want to be there.
I used to be a super smooth driver. I've gotten slightly more careless now. I not and by that
working on jail time.
Most people wouldn't even notice. The only thing that I really do is in town, I'm closer to people than I used to be. Okay. But back when I first got a Chrysler 300, I would like.
You had a Chrysler 300?
I did for a while.
That's how I know your backstory matches, because those are the people who drive Chrysler 300s.
Yeah, I used to drive slow as shit and stay like 5,000 feet behind people.
You had a Chrysler 300.
And now I drive an SUV, so now I'm a little bit more up in people's faces.
You get over shit, Bob. Stop it.
But I'm thank you. So I still drive pretty smooth though, just not as much as I used to.
No.
I don't have a new.
I feel like me and you started a conversation amongst us two and left everybody out.
No, it happens sometimes. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to be.
We got really hopped up on the freeway.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys did, and I let you go a long time on that topic.
Where's our structure?
Well, I'll tell you where your structure is. So while you guys were talking, there was a lot of people who put a lot of really good thoughts in here. Some people said progressive policies were a help, tax reduction. Can tell you what won't help. Yeah, that's probably not a good option. Theocracy gone, education reform, teaching kids high school kids taxes, finances, etc. The education system is crap. Oh, sorry, I guess that was a comment than anything. Anyway, so to go, but let's see, I'll come back here. So what I did, and let me see if I can do this now.
West side.
Look at me. Can you see?
Look how
Look at Miss Fancy Pants.
That was like professional. That
Yeah,
was smooth. Did y'all see that?
I one proud stepdad.
I'm feeling proud of myself for teaching.
Me and your mom gonna take you out later.
You're gonna get a little treat.
Yeah, we take out this treat.
Well, they do. So what I did was I just kind of jot down a couple of things, and so my thoughts, I had made sort of like subtitles, and then I started filling stuff in based on what you guys were talking about. So Tyler wants to be a dictator / tyrant. His main concerns are the transportation system, and he wants everyone to be orderly and law-abiding drivers. I kind of stopped listening to what your thoughts were to make it better. I'm sorry. But other people had good ideas. So then I put education system. It's insufficient to prepare children for the world, but I also kind of put it down under the section of how we could make it better. Education reform, tax reduction, progressive policies. But I kind of, before I go into that, what is great? Like, it's a subjective term, right? There's not a lot of measurement involved in greatness.
Yeah.
It's to each their own. And what was I going to, sorry, I got distracted because how do I get sorry, I forgot your face was covered.
Small few, it's probably been great. For a very small few, it's been great. And that's the problem. It's a small portion of the population where the rest of us and the small majority have had to bear the weight of it.
Well, and that's certainly a good point, because again, it's a subjective term. And so it means something different to everybody. So you could have 100 people in the same scenario with similar, everything being kind of controlled and the same, and people have different perspectives of how that outcome went. They do this a lot in like when eyewitness testimony of a like an event that happened. There's lots and lots of like trial, like experiments that they've done where they put people in the exact same room with the exact same information, and the exact same person came in, and people had a different opinion of what they saw. They would describe someone slightly different. They had a different opinion of how, like what the interaction was caused by, or, like people just see the world slightly differently. Their thought processes are differently. And that includes what I think greatness is. And so how do we even define greatness in a way that's measurable over time?
By the amount of people who are having a good time.
Yeah, that was the first thing that popped into my mind was a great society would be the society that most people want to be part of.
But I think that's part of the problem, because we are like that. That's why stuff gets so unnoticed, because most of the time, most of the things that are terrible aren't the most of the things. Most of the things are just the mundane, and people just get so used to the mundane that they don't notice that. So they don't notice that they're actually having a good time and doing good things. And then they ignore other things, but it's just crazy that way to me. That's just my ways. Education, you say?
Well, so we could measure greatness by how happy everybody is, but people can sometimes be manipulated into being happy, or we could argue that is somebody, is just making somebody happy even though they're doing something to shorten and end their existence good. Is that great? If they don't realize they're doing it. So, there's just a lot of nuance, I think, in just saying, oh, well, as long as the majority of people are happy, it must be great. So, like Dobstopper you had mentioned, or I think you mentioned it, or I already forgot. Like, do people want to come here? Right. And so people do want to come here all the time, because they're leaving someplace that, probably objectively in many ways isn't greater. Right. But there's a lot of people who don't want to come here either. Right.
Yeah, right.
This place is.
So like a teeter-totter. I mean, it's just.
I know that's where it gets wishy-washy for me in terms of great, because like I hear people say third world, America's third world, and then I see an actual third world, and I'm like, man, I'm having a blast, man. They look like they're miserable over there. Right. So it's like eh.
But there are places in America that can be comparable,
Yeah.
and especially if you're Native American.
Yeah.
Because we don't do shit for them at all. Except for bad things. Oh, by we I mean the United States.
Oh, okay.
Our God. No, I ain't talking about me.
Oh,
them.
I think a lot of people also want to come here too because, I do think that there is a lot of opportunity, but I also think it's very highly propagandized, and that's it's in the movie, like all that the movies really do a great job, I think, of that of just making people want to come here for that opportunity, that American lifestyle.
Romanticize.
Like when you think about you think about LA, but nobody thinks about Skid Row.
Yeah, right.
Yo, that's like when you go there, it's like, oh, this ain't.
Just that there are parts, just like whoever I don't know if it was Dr. Time Waster or Dobbs Upper mentioned, there are parts where there's obvious problems that we have. We still have people, is it Michigan, Flint, that still don't have
I think their water problem has finally been solved. I don't quote me on that.
Maybe
that's what I heard.
I mean, after however many years, and people have now been poisoned and da. But so still same kind of idea. There's a lot of problems here, a lot of great things, a lot of great people, I think, worth fighting for, which is what I think a lot of us are, what we imagine in our head are doing. That's the intent, but
and this place is really unique in what it is. Like in terms of like how many different types of cultures just merging and colliding with each other and having to work intimately close with other people. Like you have to work intimately with somebody that has the opposite view or whatever, and you just have to make it work. I think for the most part, we do a pretty good job at it. But we got places we can pick up the slack. But
I mean, as bad as America is, we're actually, when it comes to dealing with other cultures and stuff, we do better than a lot of the world. Like if you go to a lot of countries throughout the world, Japan is the first thing that comes to my mind. They're super racist still. A lot of European countries, if you're slightly different, they don't like you. I mean America's still pretty racist, but I mean, it's there's a lot of places that are actually worse.
I don't know what it would feel like because usually the other places are everybody particularly is the exact same looking.
Right.
Like you're not if I was to go to Norway, I mean, like sure it'd be some. I don't know what that feels like to be like I don't know what that would feel like in terms of thinking about it, because I don't really think about it here. It's not a thought or a concern about, oh, I'm the only black person somewhere. I don't really think about that. I just move around and go places. So I don't know how that would feel to go like Norway. I was like, oh, I wonder how that would feel to feel like that. It's like almost like, oh, that's a lot of people that are white.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I've never been outside the country.
I went outside the country once. I remember I was in Spain. I remember when kids would just look at me.
In Spain?
Yeah, it would make sense though. I mean, it's not like he's like if you're 3 years old and you're in a country that's like predominantly everybody has that same skin color. Then out of nowhere comes this guy like, what is that? You stare at it.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in America, it's normal for us to see, different looking people all the time.
Yeah.
So diversity is what I'm hearing.
Diversity. Well,
I would agree with that. For the most part, I mean, there's definitely areas where you go and either there's not a great mix of people, but I've never really had that much of a problem with it, thankfully.
you want diversity, but you want to be mindful about it.
Well, I've never been in a place where it was too many white people. Like there was a little.
Okay.
Like I wish there was more of a mix. Well, because I moved around a lot.
Oh, okay.
So my favorite school was where there was a lot of mix because that's where I fit in. I felt like they saw me for who I was, and at the schools where it was more predominantly white, they looked at me as like the little like tan girl. Like I wasn't even that like tan, but when I was a kid, like I was definitely like 100% outside, never inside. That's when you didn't have video games. So my little behind got a lot tan. I wasn't inside. And I could tell like people didn't like me as much in those schools as they did where the school was diverse. I fit in so much better. I think like when you're forced to be around more cultures and ideas and different family styles, because every different kind of culture has a different way of like raising their family. You get introduced to so much, I don't know, fun.
Yeah,
You're not as stiff. It's so hard to be like so stiff because you're introduced to ideas. You just you have to.
There's not a point in my life that I've not lived in a diverse point. It's never been a point where it's just like, oh, I don't know what it's like to be around these people. I said, no, I mean, so everybody seems the same to me.
There was only one school, and it was it was just, I can't say it online, but there was only one school, and it was just a lot of like kind of like Amish and
I didn't get to see them.
Mennonite.
They look like they look. I remember seeing them on TV. I said, man, their life looks so chill until you see those documentaries, and it's like, never mind.
Yeah, I have a friend. Yeah, I have a friend who could tell you like a whole
never
lot.
Mind. Never mind. It looked like y'all
from the outside.
Like that's like the Amish. What they got, it's a good ideal to work, but they went too far with it. It's like, hey, stop! You're
going too far with your cult, please, sir.
You're going too far with your cult. If you would just stop with just the community part of them, just everybody's assisting everybody, not, hey, you can't leave. If you leave, don't even talk to us anymore. Wow. That's how Jehovah's Witness feels to me. Like, I feel like all that feels like Jehovah's Witness, like all that.
Shunning is an interesting phenomenon. As far as, I mean, I don't know if I agree with it at all. I mean, I can think of maybe a situation where shunning might be appropriate, but I could easily be convinced that it's not.
But then again, though, people shun people. We shun people. We just don't call it. Okay. We just don't call it shunning. We call it block.
Yeah, we don't call it shunning, and that's because they're technically different things, right? I know what you're going to say because I heard other people make this comment. And the thing is when I use the word shunning, and I guess this is just me and my interpretation of this. Yeah. But when I think of the word shunning, I think of something that is sort of forced upon society to do against maybe a particular person or group, right? So like my mom probably didn't really want to stop talking to me, and she probably would still talk to me if the Jehovah's Witness religion said, didn't have a rule that said they had to shun me, and they might want to call it a different word so that they can step away from it. But whatever word they call it is what we're going to redefine shunning as, because that's what it is. So if they can keep calling it a different word, that's what it will be. But when we say make boundaries in our life or are around other people and voluntarily realize that it is not for our own benefit to continue the relationship with them, that is my decision to do, versus being forced or coerced into it for the group peer pressure to do it. And so that's, to me, where I'm drawing the line. And like, there's plenty of words.
But in between that, there are people who still shun though, with the same, based off what they don't like. If you like the thing, you like the thing that I dislike.
Well,
you are I have to block you because of this, because this thing, whatever. I'm not saying nothing against you. I'm just talking about, like, not just Jehovah's Witness. I'm talking about, like, there's different groups of people make their own way, their own type of shunning.
Sure. I mean, you can argue, like, am I cutting somebody out of my life because they won't respect my boundaries, or because I keep making rules for them,
right?
Like
they don't follow it.
Like in the Baptist church, right? It's people who do that too, but they don't call it shunning. But they're essentially doing what y'all doing, but they just don't call it that. I would consider that
putting a boundary. And
no, I'm talking about what the Jehovah's Witnesses do.
Yeah, where you encourage.
When
y'all remove, they don't have any formal thing about it, but they do it. But
you mean like when the Klingon Council will just, and then they turn it back on you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. You should use that.
I'm having a conversation with you.
Which Star Trek does this take place in? Deep Space Nine, I'm guessing.
It was mostly the Next Generation what I was picturing, but it could happen in other ones. I'm not sure.
Where the Klingon reside.
They shun Worf. They kick him out. He's shunned. It's so funny. Sorry, I don't mean to like totally change the topic to that, but I totally related to that. It did hit really hard when I watched that, and I was like, oh man, Worf he's a Jehovah's Witness and he doesn't even know it.
But that is weird though.
Damn.
That is weird though. The more I think about it, like, just to be part of an organization, just say, I'm gonna cut you off just cause.
Right. Just like that.
You mean like cutting somebody off on the freeway, or
no, I'm talking about
doing that.
The shunning, cut you off. Shunning. I'm sorry, I use slang a lot.
I'm teasing.
No,
I was just thinking, like, sometimes I've heard this from my own family members, where they'll say, well, it's not allowed, or it's against the law. But that's their art. Like, no matter what the harm is causing people, if the rule is causing harm, it doesn't matter. In her mind, it's still it's written on the books. Like, it's a law. And it's like, yeah, but some laws aren't actually good, right?
Right.
Like I think this is how we talk about it as a society and get it changed, but you won't have the conversation because nope, it's a law. No matter what you do, you've got to follow it.
You know what? So I think about, like, imagine, like, you got your kid, right? Your kid has committed a crime. Now you got to separate yourself from your offspring and turn them in or testify them. And like I can understand that is a tough thing to do. But to just go, because this book says so, it's just stupid. The book told you to do that? At the very, like, I'm talking about, like, your kid has committed a harnish, like he done killed a bunch of people, but you're gonna say bye to your kid because it seems like it would be, even if the say Jehovah's Witness person kill somebody, would they shun that person? if they ask forgiveness or something like that?
Are you asking the question?
Yeah. Like, say you have a member of Jehovah's Witness.
They believe in redemption.
Yeah, he killed somebody, and they would have just accepted.
Why all the molesters get back into position.
That's what I'm talking
about. Yeah. No, they can go without getting shunned at all. I believe they can if they're immediately seeking redemption.
How? Where is that part of your brain that don't hear that? You're more willing to accept a molester than your kid who just don't want to go to church no more?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. That is correct.
Absolutely.
Because the child who doesn't want to go to church anymore isn't willing to be redeemed and change their mind and realize they've been wrong this whole time and you are right.
He's turned against Jehovah.
But the molester who's been, spent the last 10 years in jail for, raping his own daughter is going to get out in 2 years, and he is very much going to get reinstated because they're going to let him back into their religion, and he's going to get reinstated, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's a real person that I know right now who's 2 years away from getting out of jail and has no remorse, doesn't believe he did anything wrong, and there's evidence that he did, lots. And he's convinced himself the last 10 years that Jehovah is the most important thing, and that he's just going to get right back in there, and he's just going to redeem himself. And while I understand where deep in his brain he's looking for redemption because he knows he did something wrong, he learned nothing, and he's gonna get put in a situation where he can do it again. If
he would just admit to it, that would be better.
It would be a step in the right direction.
It doesn't take away what he did, but it shows something to you to your humanity. And so, I know you acknowledging what you did. So you saying you're making changes without acknowledging what you did is just empty.
Yeah.
I can tell you anything.
In redemption too, but I'm not going to let somebody be in a situation where they could do the same thing again, right? And it isn't even about trust so much as when you are naive to think that somebody could never do it again because you want to believe that they're good. It's the same thing as when people refuse to ever accept or believe that someone close to them could ever have committed those things, and then do everything they can to deny it and ignore it and not see it. And then the problem continues to get worse and worse and worse. And that's the real problem that I think happens. It isn't just that the system within specifically Jehovah's Witnesses, but a lot of them that are similar, it's not just that they breed the environment for it, for putting people back into the system, but it's also because people don't want to believe it could be their family member. They don't want to believe such terrible things about people that they care about. Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. I'll stop talking. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that you just layered on a couple more layers of cement onto my wall of just non-belief, because the fact that you had to go into such great detail and such complexity about just this thing, and those are the same type of people who are telling me about existence. Why should I believe you? You have no reason to believe that you know anything more than what I know.
Foundation of anything.
You don't know nothing more than I do. So if I decide that I'm good, then I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So so you look at the detail you had to go into. Come on, man.
I mean, so I'm in training. This is my live today. I owned it, and I literally just put whatever work safe photos that I had available to put as the thumbnail for this show. So if you go back and look at the thumbnail, it is, I don't even remember which one, galaxy, universe, beauty, stars. I believe it was from James Webb Space Telescope image that I had saved, and I don't even remember which one. But the amount of knowledge, time, energy, and science that that had to go into creating the image that I just stuck on randomly on this thumbnail for the show is so immense. But they're the ones that, but Jehovah is obviously that. What they know is all you need to know. Jehovah did it.
The simplest answer is the best answer.
But
God
if we lived by their rules and lived by the way that they want us to live, we would have never seen that image. We would have never explored that.
What's so special about these people? How can they keep getting all the demons? Like I ain't had no dream. I don't think about nothing. It don't even register to think about it. Then somebody say, I say, oh, you thinking about that? Like, oh, I forgot I was talking to my sister about a Ouija board. And she said, not a Ouija board. And not a Ouija board coming in my house. I was like, oh, you really do. Like, are you thinking God? So like,
Heard of it.
Oh, okay. It's like that.
I sleep with my foot hanging off.
I hate whenever I hear that about Ouija boards. I know exactly how they work. It's called the ideomotor effect.
Exactly.
It's your own internal psychology that is helping things move around.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the placebo effect too. If you're expecting something to happen, something might happen.
Something will happen.
Right.
Something is always happening. It's never going to not be something not happening. Something's happening. And all the possibilities of things that are going to happen are just vast and random and whatever. And that's just what it is. You may get it, you may not. It all plays by the odds of the numbers of what you do. You know, I will probably never die in a skydiving accident. Why? I'll never skydive. I'm never doing it.
I mean, it does certainly reduce the risk.
So now that's one
mortality.
Yeah, that's one risk.
I don't have to worry about skydiving.
Yeah.
Skydiving.
Don't get me skydiving, bitch.
I don't have to worry about scuba diving death. I don't have to worry about.
I definitely.
I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about being in the submarine.
You ain't gonna catch me in the ocean. For sure.
I said, like, yeah. So that's off the list. But a lot of people don't think about how many things they left unchecked. They left, Like they don't realize. I said, like, yeah, man, you're doing a lot of things. It's gonna get risky.
I've been walking into all situations like, could I die doing this?
Yep, that's my first thought. That's like, I'd be walking. As soon as I come down the stairs, I'd be like, what if I just fall down? People do be dying
of like the dumbest, simplest things because they didn't realize like they shouldn't do something.
Hey Ryan, does it feel like you'd be about to do something and you feel like someone say, I might die doing this? Then you just then you get a little bit more focus. You be like, all right, let me focus on this.
Pay attention to what you're doing here.
Yeah, I do that while driving. Often.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't. But if you
stick with the rules.
But you ever see the things that you would think? Because a lot of people, like, we all share the same things we get focused on. But then when you see somebody not focus on like the basic, they're like, "Hey, man, you couldn't tell that would kill you."
Right.
Like when you like that's gonna kill you. Like that would kill you.
You think diving into the 3 foot deep part of the pool head first would kill you?
Did you not think those people? Those people who go in those caves.
Yes, I saw like squeeze into the tight spaces.
Like fuck no.
I like doing that. I like going spelunking. But you have to be careful about it. I'm not doing everything I see everybody do.
But you got. I'm gonna die in a cave on your checklist.
Right, because that could happen.
Is it possible for you?
It's
on the card.
Checklist could die.
But I'm just saying though that like I'm talking about those people that go. You talking about that little where they squeeze through or they go swimming in the water?
Stuck, right?
Oh, yeah.
A big thing if somebody got stuck.
I
don't do anything with water. No water, and I'll squeeze, but nothing that is like I don't know for a fact I won't be able to get out of.
I love this conversation.
I'll squeeze, all right. So what now?
What now? Is
I don't know.
I had other questions as far as like not just what makes America great, what is greatness, but like what are things that aren't working so great? And there was some topics. Sorry, go ahead. You had an idea.
No, I wanted your education thing. I remember I had something to say about the education system.
About the education system.
But it's tied into.
I think it's a good topic.
The education system. This is just my little random thought that popped up immediately in this while we in this podcast. So don't take this for any research quality of knowledge. But I think because of how we got the setup of the work system is why the education system doesn't work, and we didn't replace what we took away in terms of the amount of time parents can spend with their kids versus the money they make. So they get to pick up and learn the things like taxes and the stuff you don't get to learn in school. So there's no space in between for that. So now the school has to pick up the slack, but then also that's hard as hell to teach a class full of 25 people the basics of math. And now you got to teach them on top of that how to understand taxes and shit. And you 7 months behind on your taxes. You got this kid over here. It's just so much young energy going on around, and you got to add that on. It's like, so they need to pay people more.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, what isn't working in the education system is it's hard to be a teacher, and they are not compensated appropriately for their time, nor always given the tools to do their job. It's got to be damn near impossible to get many, not just that many children, but that many children of that many different backgrounds with that many.
But they're taking on something. But they're taking on something they shouldn't even have to take on. They shouldn't have to teach them about taxes and things like that. But because you're supposed to learn all that shit at home. But
they're supposed to. But
I know, but because they don't. But because they don't pay nobody enough money and give you shitty hours, you can't be at home, and they never filled that gap that they took away.
So you're saying it's hypocritical to not pay teachers sufficiently to teach children how to balance a budget and do finances when the system doesn't even actually.
They're not even getting paid for they're not even getting paid for what they do now properly, and adding that on to it it's just ridiculous because they're not even getting paid for what the regular teacher, because it's like you're looking at a classroom, you're one person. I only got 2 kids. I got 2. And I have to manage and navigate between 2. And sometimes that's like, oh man, this is not the toughest thing in the world, but it's like 2. Then you sit in the classroom from 8 to 5 all week long with 25 kids that from all different walks of life, with different things going on at home, different learning things, and you trying to teach the core what they need to know, and now they need to know how to do their taxes and all that stuff. It's like, they gotta, even if they have to pay the teachers what they worth now, then they have to pay them more to do that because now.
I don't think anybody disagrees with what you're trying to say there, but I think where people are going to start to disagree is what should be the core. And I don't think I think that's a good question because we are a society. We all have to live together. So what do we think we should learn about each other and how to work and live together, like in a way that works? And that is the bare minimum, right? Like public school should be the bare minimum that we need to function in society as we are integrated to society. But when people want every child to be taught their specific unique thing, that's where things start getting difficult, right? Because now everybody feels their unique special thing is so important that it should be basic, bare, minimum education for all children. And we keep adding more and more. like at some point kids can only learn so much so quickly, so we have to prioritize this information. We can't expect every teacher to be able to teach this every nuanced thing correctly. But that's usually where like then higher education is, because then you can learn more things about more in-depth things, and that's where that usually lives. And people, I think, right now are confused of maybe how that normally works.
Nobody's not getting paid enough money to care. They don't, they
Yeah,
kids are hamburgers.
Can I have the soapbox for a second? Since we're talking, and I think everybody's hitting on the thing that bothers me the most, which I think that the motive for profit has absolutely tainted every aspect of our society in America.
He came in like a villain.
And I can tell you exactly how we can make it better. And that is by starting by recognizing that our government has been taken over by the profit motive, and that all of the control goes towards people that own lots of industries. So what we need to do specifically to make it better, to make America great again, is to get our government entirely rid of the profit motive, controlled by working class people like us.
Now,
and
how
then
do you do that?
You gotta educate people first.
How do you do it?
Educate.
Don't ask questions.
And they're not gonna allow that. They're already stopping that. They're already starting to break the system down, so we can't educate.
I think at a certain point, people are going to realize that they have no control, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
But my thing, like, what would be the first step to take?
It's to take over the government for the working class.
Like, what would be the first step to make? What did you do to make the United States government change how it operates? Like, what would you do? Like, what is the first step to make them do it?
You have to change public opinion first.
How do you do that? What is it that you do to change the public opinion?
I think it's, I mean, do y'all have any other answer besides education?
Start local.
What was your question, Tyler?
But one of the things,
local in your community.
The thing I was going to say, though, is if we did change it, the first thing I would change would be socializing medicine. That's what everybody wants. Everybody recognizes, well, not everybody, but lots of people recognize. I don't want
Obamacare.
I think
profit motive is making the healthcare industry very toxic to all the people in our society. You think what?
I'm gonna say my thing about communists that bothers me, not you personally. It sounds like, it reminds me of when I was trying to start a company years ago, and we spent a lot of time talking about what we was gonna do and what it could be, and we end up doing absolutely nothing. And I fear that it seems like all I do is hear about what, like that is such a far off goal. Like, what is the closest goal that one can make? Because
unfortunately, your options are pretty much to either have money and resources or to have people. If you don't have money or people, you're not doing anything.
Oh, okay.
You have one or the other.
But I don't want to get money.
And getting people is very hard if you're not very socially adept.
And those people do it. And here's the thing, and it's just like when y'all trying to sell, like when we be reading the Jehovah's Witness book, it's long and it's boring.
Yeah.
They got a whole show and it looks amazing.
Who?
The other side of communism. They got a whole machine. They make it, their selling point is great.
Propaganda.
Yeah, and it's good.
They're selling, whose selling point is good?
Look at TikTok. The entirety of TikTok is people hucking shit to everybody.
Yeah, TikTok is. I think TikTok is like an accelerationist type of idea.
It's the weirdest thing ever. I said, wow. Wow. Like,
I think they're trying to get people sick of capitalism.
but my thing, when I'm sitting there looking, but I'm the type of person like I'm looking at it like I don't want that.
Right. Same here. I don't want none of it. I'm tired of getting advertised to.
Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I said like at every turn, every avenue you go, they start selling to you.
The ads are bad, and the really the thing that really pisses me off is if you, for whatever reason, you enjoy an ad, even if you don't like it, but you just like, oh, okay, I like that product. Oh, wow, that hair product is really good. Okay.
Yeah.
But then you scroll, like, bitch, you will get nothing but that fucking ad every couple videos, just somebody different trying to sell you that fucking hair product.
But you know what makes it even worse, Ryan?
What?
It's like this. It's a reason people they still sell those magazines up front. Well, talking about somebody got impregnated by a bear or whatever. Because people believe it. And they buy it. They buy it. Them ads work on people.
Oh yeah.
Vast more than we have to suffer through it.
Yeah.
People love these ads. Because if you ever know, it'd be like one point where it's like you can tell there's like a big campaign going on, like that poppy soda. All of a sudden, it's just everybody just enjoys poppy soda, right?
Right.
And then now I saw one of the persons that did one of the ads came up in my feed again. I said, let me go see if she's drinking that poppy soda like she talked about. None, not one time. The way she talked about, I said like, I can just tell when they're about to sell me something.
Yeah, they're just selling.
Well, I heard somebody say something earlier about like how do we do this? Like you were saying, I think Tyler, you were saying you can't just like make it a goal and then it's not attainable.
Right.
And so there are ways, right? Like people make things happen all the time. And so the government is just like nearly impossible to get to function because people, I think, are in there specifically to make it muddled because it's a tactic for politics. And that's kind of what it's turned into, a financial cesspool of people gaining and getting advantage and doing that game. But then there's other people, of course, that are like doing the actual work, like actually doing the things that do care about, they do take pride in trying to make a government that functions. But before I totally get off rails, we could implement things that would make change that would work if we tried. Because like in healthcare, we talk about things, and it's probably not just related to healthcare. There's lots of industries that probably are doing these kinds of things. But I wrote down in my little notes, SMART goals. And it's an acronym, SMART. And what it stands for is when you're creating a goal, you want to make them specific. You want to make them measurable. You want to make them attainable. And you want to make them relevant and on a time bound, like on a timetable that you can like expect to make progress. And when you put these things all together, you tend to achieve these goals more specifically. And we can do it. We do it. We do it as people.
Preach, Pastor.
I use that.
You preaching, but you preaching, but you also bumming me out at the same time.
It's my job. Thank you.
Like I hear what you're saying. It makes totally sense. But there's so many people who hear what you're saying. What the fuck is she talking about?
But practice.
No, I know.
That's all you gotta do. Like it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy to do. I never said.
No, hold on. But that reminds.
But it's been done. It's been done many times.
No. This is not about. This is not about the easiness of doing it. It makes you realize, like, see, this is why I personally believe that the government should be atheist. The government should run off no religion.
Right. It should.
Like, be secular.
Right? Yeah, it should be none. No, but you can't eat. this is gonna sound
Well,
like
you
now.
say atheist, and then that's
But
a
now-
sensitive term.
Now
When
I'm about
you
to.
say secular, it's more inclusive.
I don't care. No, I'm not being inclusive. I'm being precise. You can't have an extracurricular belief. I know it sounds like I'm trying to be a dictator. I know. I think it's true. I think I really do. Like my world doesn't sound pleasant, but I know
No
what's
beliefs.
good
No beliefs outside what we tell you.
But no, I mean, you can have not even that. I won't even say that. They don't have enough non-believers publicly in government, in high places, and you can't even get to those places as an atheist.
Agree.
Openly as an atheist, you can't even get into the government.
Right.
So they don't
still,
have. They don't have a Dr. Time Waster there. They need one. They need a Dr. Time. What you just did is what they need. Dr. Time Waster.
Am I invited to Tyler Stan?
Welcome to Tyler Stan. I mean, I just know what's best for everybody. I know it's best. I know it's best for you.
I know it's best.
And
I think that everybody is different just enough that what's best for everybody isn't always the same thing, right? And so
it needs to be.
It can be easier when it is. And I don't think that's deniable, right? There's lots of things about being a human that's exactly the same, right? Or we're not viable and we don't exist. And then there's other things that they're so variable from person to person, right? Because right down to the genetic makeup, we are not the same, unless I guess you're an identical twin. But even then, there begins to be differences. So it's hard to make everybody, like I think we were talking before about all the different political structures just within what's considered the what do you call it, the progressive spectrum, the leftist spectrum, the liberal spectrum, the Democrat spectrum, like blue, whatever, right? Like there's so many terms for it, but yet there's all these different little bubbles, and it's not linear, and they're not all the same. And so even when you're just looking at one group of political things, they're actually not all the same, right? They don't all believe in the same thing. Just like you look at the other side, or you look at Christianity, even not all Christians, even within the same religion, believe the same thing. Not all Jehovah's Witnesses believe the same thing, and they supposedly all have the same literature. They're reading different things from the same literature, and unless somebody higher up tells them
differently. You go again. There you go again, Doctor. There you go again. Another layer on my atheist wall. Because again, look how complicated that is. And I am supposed to believe that this person knows more about existence than I do.
I'm here to add layers. What can I say?
Onion, baby. Onion it
up. I love nuance. I think it's naive to ever think anything is as simple as it could sound. If it sounds simple, it's probably not. It's too good to be true. It probably is, right? Yep. Nothing in life is that nice and tidy.
So you're telling me it's very unlikely.
Probably. That's a good phrase, by the way.
That all the humans that were dead in the ground are not just going to get back up.
I would exactly say
like that's not going to
unlikely for that to happen.
You sure? Because a lot of people think it's going to happen.
I do recognize that. Yes, a lot of people also used to think that the Earth rotated, or the sun rotated around the Earth. The Earth is the center of the universe. I mean, people still think it's flat, but I don't think they really believe that.
Do you think there was any atheists back then?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course there were atheists back then, just like there were gay people back then. Right? We're not that different, right?
Just
I know. I hate when people just act like everybody believed in a God and everybody believed. Like, y'all need to like
Do you
chill
guys
out.
know
because I'm like, we are an example of life. So it's like we don't do that. Really, we all kind of do the same thing. We add a different label on it and call it something else, but it's all, huh?
It's evolution, you mean? Like we're just slowly evolving?
No, I mean, like we all do the same stuff. Like repetitively, we just do the same thing. So it's not too surprising if in this day and time, with this much technology and all these cameras and all the yada 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 yada, we still get things wrong. It's highly likely way back yonder. They were definitely getting it wrong.
Oh, yeah. And they probably also got things right for the wrong reasons, right? Yeah. And admittedly, we still do today.
Yeah,
there's probably a lot of things we did a right thing for all the wrong reasons.
Like
or
medicine.
Vice versa.
Medicine, right? They make one medicine for one thing and find out it's better for the other thing.
Oops, we killed some people, but on the plus side, it cures this other disease.
Erectile dysfunction. As
long as we don't give it to those people.
Erectile dysfunction. We solved it. We lost a lot of people.
I mean, and that's also true. That that's just we learn as we make mistakes. But if we don't learn from the mistakes, then we're just gonna keep making them, right?
Preach, sister.
Bound to repeat them.
Preach,
if we
sister.
Do not learn.
Sister, I think we need to start a cult, guys.
Yeah, well,
we definitely need to start a cult.
Well, are we finally starting the Dr. Time Wister cult?
Time.
Let's see.
We have strict rules here. You gotta be strict. Like,
are you gonna help me come up with the rules, Tyler? You'll help me enforce them?
I will enforce the rules.
You'll be the enforcer.
That's not a problem.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll make sure everybody's, it will be shunning.
There will be shunning.
And
you will like it.
The minute you start getting in fantasy land, get out. Get out. Do not come in here with that. Get out of here. Don't come here with your anecdotal evidence.
Exactly, Dan D. We have so much in common with people. It is a real big us versus them tactic.
And then when you really talk to people one to one, you find out.
Oh, but Ryan hit it. Ryan hit the nail. Ryan hit the top of the hill. It's you have to start. Well, I would go. You have to start in home, then locally. Change how you operate in your home, then change how you operate locally, and then hopefully it'll get farther out from there.
Like we really got to talk to people, bro. Like we really have to.
Doc Time works. You got to talk to your neighbors.
As long as
you got to start knocking on doors again.
You got to start knocking on doors, guys.
I think we might be doomed. I don't know if this is gonna happen,
We gotta go start knocking on. Have you heard the good news of Dr. Time Wister? I'm gonna start tomorrow in my community. I'm gonna start knocking on doors. What should we wear? Is it gonna be a uniform?
I suppose any good cult has a uniform.
Yeah, we need a uniform.
It's gotta show cleavage for sure.
No, we are not.
But
we are
gender equal, so everyone shows cleavage.
Everybody wears the exact same thing. We show no cleavage. We show men can't show their chest. Women can't show their chest. Everybody's exactly the same under this.
It's so boring.
No. This is the only way it's gonna work.
I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work.
Then we're gonna have to spend one day a week. Everybody's gonna have to get together.
Listen, if there's no
we're gonna spend at least 5 to 6 hours in this building listening to Dr. Time Wister.
If there's no cleavage, there's no cult.
And it's mandatory attendance.
Mandatory attendance. I already don't want to be in this cult anymore. So.
I'm already bored.
We're gonna.
I'm the cult leader. I don't have to show up, right? I don't have to actually follow rules.
You don't have to follow rules.
You
get to live a secular life while you reap off the money. And I get a
I'll wear the low cut stuff.
You know how easy it is to slide into that. Like you can make money. Like it's easy to do that.
All right. Yeah, well, now that'll be my OnlyFans page. How about that?
That's what people do with celebrity as it is. They want to buy their clothes, buy their drinks, their products, and whatever. I mean, it's really just a transfer of wealth to now regular folk who can be influencers if they're smart about it.
Losing a horny demographic.
It's an important demographic.
Well, I'm boring.
Every good cult is boring-ish, like Jehovah's Witnesses.
Just boring enough. Well, we've been here for an hour. What do you guys think? You want to
wrap it up?
Do we have any more thoughts we want to throw out there for how we would make America great ever?
More profit.
For me,
we're not even. It ain't even about. We just gonna turn this land into, like you say, Tyler stand.
Education, militarization. That's what I say.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna become a dictator. Sorry.
Yep, Tyler will be a dictator.
I'll rule with iron fist. Only on the roads.
Hey, I got a deal for you. You become a dictator, but we do it under communism. You can be a communist dictator. How about that?
I mean, as long as I can control the transportation systems,
done.
I have to have absolute rule, final say on what happens out there.
But isn't the communist dictator what is giving communism the actual bad name? Isn't it dictatorships that tend to ruin socialism and
yes,
communism?
Exactly. I'm just trying to tell
It may not
Tyler.
Actually, so much be the ideologies, but the fact that people abuse it and become dictators under the guise of.
Y'all listen. Y'all three will live good under my rule.
Well, I will say so. I mean, if you have a government like America in the world that's like consisting of private owners, then you're going to be tempted to have like one person that's the head of your society's military and kind of plans things.
Somebody has to make a decision.
Right. The goal is supposed to be that you don't have that, but you kind of have to get the whole world on board before you can really get rid of the person that makes decisions.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen no time soon.
Not
the entire world. That's a long.
Probably not tomorrow.
But people can't even get their neighbors until you can get your neighbor, your street. If you can't change where you live at, you ain't gonna get the world.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Now you're not coming to take mine. You're not coming to take mine from me. Yeah, see, I'm benevolent.
Benevolent dictator.
I treat y'all well. Everybody.
I mean, isn't that what Jehovah's Witnesses believe in? Is a system with a benevolent dictator?
Yeah, God is a benevolent, omnipotent.
I'm gonna be his faithful slave because he's gonna take good care of me.
Yeah,
I mean, I won't worry myself about all the people he won't take good care of, but
long as they obey by the rules of the road, you'd be okay in my country.
Dictating on the road, dictating on the road.
I cap all the because Dr. Conway, you go 75, don't you?
At least.
Exactly. You'll be.
But I usually drive on I-90, which is 70. So
you are
only way 5 over the speed limit.
but if I was, that is a harsh penalty right there. 5 over.
If it makes you
the speed limit is 70.
If it makes you feel any better, if we were to be driving on the same road, we would probably not. You wouldn't even notice me because I'm not rude. I will just go around you.
No, I would notice you.
You'll never see me again.
Yeah, and I'll be sitting there back in my car, like, look at them. They need to learn. They need to learn a lesson.
But and then you wish horrible things on me.
Yeah, but it's not like I'd be like, man,
bye, bitch.
I don't want you, but I feel like sometimes the only way they're gonna learn is like I want them to die, but not die, and then they learn. All right.
I've had my fair share of bad driving incidences that I've definitely learned from them. So
5 over don't sound like.
I think you would find that I'm actually a pretty good driver. But
5 over don't.
I also don't. I will look at the speed limit as a suggestion that if it is a safety issue, I'm not going to go, but I can't go over the speed limit. No, I will justify it to the cop's face if he pulls me over, if it was to avoid an accident or, I had somebody chase me on the freeway one time. So,
yeah.
I got
those people too.
Anyways. So it sounds like Tyler's solution will be dictatorship. Stopper would like
to get rid of profit motive.
Profit?
To get rid of profit motive.
Too bad. There's a profit motive.
Dan, profited.
Stop it, Dan. Trying to get rid of that.
Look at you. Look at you. You stuck like Chuck.
Stop it. Whatever you do, don't send money, guys. Don't.
I think we messed up when we
don't put into the system.
I'm trying to stop the profit motive. Don't prove the communist wrong.
They paid people too well to go. They paid people too much money to go. We had to start using coal. They said,
if you think about it, finances, the economy is a pseudoscience of sorts with accurate math, right? We invented finances. We invented what is worth what. $1 is just a piece of paper, right? Like we invented what this is. It's a social construct. It's a social construct. Yes, thank you.
I was holding money in my hand, and it's just like fucking paper, man.
Yeah, it's right. Meaningless paper, right?
It's an IOU.
And half the time it's not even paper.
There ain't no gold. You're not going to get no goddamn gold from an IOU anymore.
Even that, like, it's just gold.
Like, and what are you going to do with the gold? Right?
It's just a metal in the ground. What's so special about the gold?
Right. And when you find yourself with nothing, what is actually the most important thing? Food, water. It isn't gold. It isn't the diamond, right?
But you ain't got no gold to get none.
So it's just a social construct to try and make it so that we can all live together in society.
It worked though.
It works when it works, and it's terrible when it doesn't. Like when markets crash, there's no reason we have to act like we do, right? There's no reason we have to act like suddenly bread is $1,000 a loaf. Right?
I'd be like,
but we do, and it affects us. If somebody gets elected into office and suddenly the market, people buy and sell specific stocks, and then that makes somebody thousands of dollars overnight that they can lose then overnight. Like, how is that a stable system?
If there was a way, because we need everybody to do the thing that they do to make the things function for the things that we want to do. So we need some other people to have a job doing somebody else to do the job. We needed somebody to go into the coal mines to get the coal, to do the things, to get to the things that we do now. Now we just got to figure out, like, how do we exist while simultaneously needing people to do those level of jobs? And like, how do you, are people just going to do it just for, like, everybody has to shift from the point of, like, you don't like he say, the profit motive. You can't get rid of that. Like, I need to get more, because the world could operate like that now if we all was in sync and just to say, none of this stuff matter. Disney Recess had it. They had the answer. The episode where
Recess.
It did. It had the answer. That show was a very progressive show.
I did like it
because Monstar stickers became the money of the land on the playground. TJ was out of school for a week because he was sick. So when he came back, he didn't know about it. So he didn't have nothing. So he had to start his way up from a working class schmo. And he worked his way up to the point where he owned almost every Monstar sticker on the playground. Kids couldn't afford to do much of nothing. And then the next day, the kids showed up and they decided they don't care about Monstar stickers no more. He was poor again.
Broke his whole system.
Yeah, and they
That's
just picked
right.
they just picked a different. They just changed it to something else, and
which is a good example of when somebody hoards all the money, like say when there's a few people with billions of dollars, and then there are masses of people with nothing.
But we gotta not want the money.
Isn't going to thrive.
We gotta not want the money though. The money has to have nothing to play in anything. We just have to want to do, but we just want the money. Everybody wants the money because it's not, you don't need the money. You just need to do, but everybody wants money.
I know. Well, the thing is when you look at it and people have that much money, there's no way they can actually spend it in their own lifetime, right? Yeah. And so when you have more money than you could even spend in your own lifetime, then you wouldn't notice if it wasn't there. All I'm saying, right? And that right there could be a natural limit that seems reasonable to put on capitalism. Like, right, if we cap capitalism, then it's a system that eventually will trickle into socialism and other things. But
you're talking about keeping money. I'm talking about completely eradicating money.
Well, that too, whichever.
I'm talking about the.
You can go the Tyler Durden way.
I'm talking. Dom's starting to know what Dom's starting to know what I'm talking about.
I get you. We gotta do it.
You know, he's know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
get rid of money.
I'm talking about get rid of the concept of the way we function. It don't just change. But I'm not saying again. This gets into the thing.
Construct. We created it. We can recreate it.
Let's do it.
That's right.
Top of the government.
We could make it money different than the way we use it now.
Yeah, but people really like money though.
I like
the idea of money.
I know, but like TikTok Shop got them hooked, boy.
Well, there's also a lot of addiction that can go into things like gambling and I think purchasing things as well can be, can provide a certain emotional satisfaction as well. And it's exciting and thrilling, and it's like winning in the lottery sometimes, only, it might be more economical than gambling, I would think. You actually get something out of it. I don't know. But those are also complexities and nuances that we would need to address to help. But there's a bigger thing to fix it, right? Those are little things, but it's still, there's a couple people who have all the money. So can we make a big change, and then we can work on the nuances, like people with gambling addictions and shopping addictions and wanting things they'll never use in their lifetime.
You're doing well. You are really campaigning.
Vote for me, you guys. I can do any of those cabinet positions better.
This is the cold call. This is the cold call. Y'all want to join the Dr.
You on education? Get somebody else on defense.
I mean, I would take any of them. I could do any of them. Healthcare.
Really, honestly,
JFK Junior's, whatever, RFK Junior's job, that's the one I'd take. I'm more qualified for it.
Well, go do it.
I don't think Trump would give it to me.
Oh, okay. He probably wouldn't.
I know she's a doctor, but she's too short. I don't like short people. They make me feel weird.
Well, that's your problem, no man. All right. Well, I think we've rounded this topic out pretty good. It's it's been great hanging out with you guys and talking. And practice makes perfect. So thanks for coming to my lead-in on this show. And we'll come back again next week, hopefully, and have another topic or keep going on this topic as well. I mean, there's lots of stuff we could keep talking about that's wrong that we could make great. And maybe just talking about it, and the more people talk about it, things will start to change. This is our community of sorts that we're talking to.
You take these lessons out into your community. You go door to door and you spread this message.
I'm gonna go out there with a megaphone and roller skates with pink hair. Join my cult, everybody.
I'm gonna gonna start giving out little tiny pamphlets
Me
called
too.
tracks
Me too.
that have information.
I think I'm gonna buy a podium and just stand out in front of places.
Doge Stopper and Bit Tyler.
Doge.
I enjoyed you all. Thank you for participating. We can keep adding to our list of what we find isn't working well and what we think we could contribute, ideas we have that could make it better. Because if America was ever great, the only way to make it great again is us, the people who live here and are in this community. So we can't let other people take the narrative when, we live here too. So have a good night, everybody.
Love you all. Thank you for coming.
Good night.
Ta-ta. Bye. How long does this take to go away?
Oh, what, to end stream? Did you click end stream?
Probably not. She probably didn't.